Hey everyone, this is Ed. I'm like laughing. Hey, this is Ed from Stencil1, and I am doing. Can you hear the theme? Can you hear the music? Um, I don't watch much TV, but I do watch Stranger Things, and I am obsessed with it. I love this show. I think the creators really referenced all these awesome older movies that I grew up on, and the characters are amazing. These kids are just so endearing. Winona Ryder, who's one of my favorite. She can just shine on the screen. She's so awesome. I just love this show. So I put together a few crafts today that reference the show for you to use for Halloween, or you to use for viewing parties, which I think having people over for Stranger Things viewing parties weekly is a great way to get together. And like, just this show is just like, it's just like so awesome and innocent. I just love this show. I can't say enough about it. So I'm gonna shut that music off now. I got that from their YouTube site. Now we're gonna go back here. I have 4 different crafts that you can do that some are on a pumpkin for Halloween, and they involve stenciling, painting, decoupage, and I got almost everything from my local art supply store, and some stencils from my site, which you'll see. We have a vintage bicycle that looks like Will's bike on the show, so I think that would be cool. And I made all the projects kind of fit the theme of the show, like you'll see. And this is my Winona inspired outfit. I should say Joyce, her character Joyce, who I just love. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you some. We'll get started on the Stranger Things projects. All right, so, all right. The first thing up, you're like, what? Is this pumpkin with the letters that the character Joyce wrote on the wall for the, everyone knows this scene with the Will communicating with her through the Christmas lights. And so I made this custom stencil of the letters, which Joyce in the show wrote on the wall. And you know what I did first is I tried to simulate the wallpaper. I used a screen grab from their images online, and I repeated it, and I made this, I printed this out several times, so it's the wallpaper behind the lights and writing. So what I did was I decoupaged this fake pumpkin with this paper. So the whole pumpkin has that wallpaper effect. You might have seen this over here. Here's Winona with an axe, who's like, she lost her son. She's pretty hysterical. And I'm gonna show you, I didn't want to do this all on camera, this decoupage, and the stenciling takes a lot of time, but I will show you how I went through that process. And I'm gonna mount the camera now on my holder here, and get started on showing you how I did this. But this is great for Halloween because you can have a Stranger Things Halloween party. I've seen a lot of people dressed like some of the characters, especially 11, Elle, who she's so adorable. So a lot of people with shaved heads and hospital gowns out there and some wires on their head. Sorry while I get this in place. Okay. Now I'm going to raise this a little bit. This is always the boring part, sorry. My tripod. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to do it down here. Okay. Having a little issue with the tripod. Okay. So, how did I decoupage this pumpkin? Well, with this paper, like I said, I put it all over the pumpkin, and decoupaging is really easy. Here's some Pebeo makes this Bindex Brilliant for decoupaging, and this is at every art supply store that I've been to. So you can. I'm going to show you on. What can I use here? I'll just do it right on this cardboard. But usually I use a glass, but I'll just do it right on here today. So I'm really quick and easy about this stuff. I squirt some on the back of my paper and I brush it out all the way to the edges. Everything gets covered. You don't want any piece riding up like Winona Ryder. Okay, so then I'm gonna stick it on the pumpkin right below the lights, because in the show she's sitting below the lights. So this can go right here. How's that? Put her by the W. Maybe I'll just move it a little lower. Now, while it's wet, you can push it into the shape of the pumpkin. And what you're supposed to do with decoupaging is, ideally, you let this dry on here, and then you coat it again with the decoupage Bindex stuff on the outside. And that, if you see, it gives it a slightly shiny appearance. That's why the whole pumpkin is a little shiny with the wallpaper all over it. So here she is. She is ready for the monster from the underworld. She is wanting her kid back. I love Joyce. And so once that's dry, you coat it, and you see it looks white when it's going on, but it'll dry clear. And this will keep it adhered to any surface that you're decoupaging on. So you just make sure it's smoothed out. And then I placed it on this bed of Christmas lights for that added added effect for the whole theme of the show, which I think this was a very, very popular scene in the show. Now, I think I talk a lot about on my videos, tools are very important. So I went and purchased these tiny paintbrushes to hand paint in the different colors of the Christmas lights that are hanging. And then I did a glow on the R, the U, and the N because Will told her to run. And she said, "What do I do?" Run. So that is project number 1. Okay, now let's move on to, I'll just shift this over a little bit, but this would be great at a Halloween party. So happy Halloween, by the way. Okay, what's next? Everyone loves 11. 0, 1. These are these, let me get this down here. There you go. These are these cardboard letters from the craft store that you can paint. And I left this one unpainted so you could see that it's just like a hollow cardboard letter, sorry. And I'm just using some acrylic paint, and these are paintable, which is awesome. So you could decoupage these, you can paint patterns on them. And on Stranger Things, Elle, whose name is 11, well, they call her Elle, she's the most sweetest thing, and she was experimented on, and you your heart breaks for her. She's so adorable. And so why are these getting painted yellow? Because they are gonna go, if you watch the show, Elle loves to eat, or steal and eat, Legos. I'm sorry, Eggos, not Legos. Elle loves, so these are, let me take this off here for a minute. Here is your, for your watching party, here is your 11, or L, let's say 11 for, since we're doing the numbers here. It's your Eggo serving tray for your guests. I know, I've lost my mind on this show, but I just love it. So you've got your syrup, you've got your Eggos, and it's the 11 Eggo station. So this should make your guests scream because it's so awesome. Now, what's next? You're not ready for what's next. Let me get rid of this. I'll probably eat these. Let's see. All right. Everyone was pretty upset. Oh, no, let's not go there yet. Okay, the boys. The boys on the show are super geeky and wonderful, and just you just love them. And they ride around on their bikes, a lot like the Goonies and Stand By Me and all the E.T., like all these shows that like they pay homage to. These kids are super, this is set in the 80s, so the bikes are vintage, vintage to us. So I thought it would be fun. First of all, look at this, one of my stencils that we sell is, this looks like Will's bike, right? I don't think Will has the mirrors, so I don't have to paint those in. But he has a green bike, a lot like this, and they have lights on the front that they go riding out at night with to search out for the monsters and stuff. So I am going to paint this, and in keeping with the geek theme, I bought this, I painted this black. It's a puzzle that you can buy blank and paint. So I started by painting it black because the show, they'll ride the bikes at night a lot. So I painted it black, and what I want to do is, here's another, they're often in the woods. So here's a stencil of some pine trees, just to give this some texture. So I'm going to start by taking the pine tree stencil and just placing it on here, just to give the puzzle some background and texture before I put the bike on top of it. Now I put out some colors, and I'm going to use this very dark green for the tree, and I'm going to use a very large brush. So I'm dipping into the paint. This is way too much paint. So you just always, when you're stenciling, you take a lot of paint off your brush. Like there's nothing on here now almost. And I'm just gonna kind of add some of this green tree. And what's nice is the stencil is large, but I can just paint the top of the stencil to make it look like the trees are in the background. So I could just paint various trees just to give it a little atmosphere of like, where is this bicycle? It's like riding through the forest. So you see there's two trees there, and I am placing the stencil down. I'm just working fast. I'm placing it on. Normally I would dry that off and then paint some more, but I'm just going to do this quick just to add some texture to the background of this puzzle image. And one more here. So there's forest in the background of the bicycle. That's what we're going for, just some texture. And then you could just kind of make the ground sort of green. It's really just going to become a background to the bicycle. Okay, so there's that. Now, we're going to let this dry a little bit. I'm going to show you what you should do to get a really crisp design. So you can't see the stencil that well. This is rather see-through, but what you want to do is put a little of this spray adhesive on the back of your stencil. I'm just going to do that off camera over here. Now what that does is now you can see it better too. There's spray on the back of this. When you place this down, it will hold down all these little details really well. So I'm just wanting this to dry so that we don't have a mess. And we're gonna make our bicycle, just gonna do it in one color, but you can really get into the detail of the bike if you wanted to do silver and green and all the detail if you so wished. Now, to make it pop, I'm going to use a much brighter green, which I think is a little more like the color on the show. So when you stencil, you want to go in an up and down motion like this to get a really clean, crisp design. I'm doing it all in one color. Now I didn't have a BMX bike stencil, but maybe I will I think I'm going to continue this and do more Stranger Things crafts and try to get my friends who are really crafty in on this, because I think it's a fun theme to play off of and compile a whole bunch of projects for you to do this for your Stranger Things parties. So I'm filling it all in. It's a little heavy, but this way you'll really see the bike. And then I'm going to add one more little detail of the headlight. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, so here's the bicycle. So you have this Will's bike puzzle that your friends can make at a party. And you have the puzzle station, you have the Eggo station. It's like a play night. And I want to make light casting out here just to kind of go with the theme a little more of the show, how they are always riding at night. And so I'm going to do a little white light gradient. And again, ideally I wish this would dry first, but we're in a hurry here. So I'm just going to take 2 pieces of paper and create a ray of light coming out of the light on the bicycle. So I guess it would kind of be like in this direction. And here's the ray of light, right? Okay. So it'll go white to nearly nothing. So again, I could use a nice big stencil brush, and in this case I'm going to put white paint on it. Again, this is way too much, so you just take a lot off of your brush and so it'll be the most light here and the least light there, right? So let me take some more paint off here on the paper. It really is just going to be so little that I'd rather start really light and build it up. So strong light. And you want your edge to show, so you can paint along the edge. a little goes a long way. I don't know if you could see the detail of this yet, but you'll see you almost need no paint to give this the feeling of a light being shined out from the bicycle light. There, I think that's fine. So lift this, it's just some fun little detail to have the bike be shining. I love this. Then you let it dry, you break it apart, and let your friends put it together, and then they see what it is, and it's Will's bicycle. So that is done with the Stencil1 bicycle stencil and the evergreen tree. Okay. There's one more project that the internet seemed to be blowing up and obsessed with Barb. Barb is my favorite character on the show. Well, that's hard to say. I like them all. But when Barb went into the underworld and disappeared, we kind of freaked out. I need to show you something. This is my yearbook. Look at this. A unicorn. Never give up on your dreams. This is from the 80s. I'm revealing my age here. But there are a lot of Barbs I went to school with. And, you know, they had those Holly Hobby shirts and the upside down glasses. So we want Barb to come back from the underworld. So I'm starting to build the Barb shrine. Oh my God. So we need Barb to come back. So I decoupaged Barb in 2 directions. Found this on the internet. I showed you how to decoupage on the pumpkin. I painted some. I could take this down and show you what's going on here. It's really easy. So I duct taped together 3 pieces of wood that are like balsa wood from the craft store. And then I painted each one copper with a craft paint. And then I sprayed it with, we have these fluorescent spray inks. Here, how's this? These are great. They work on wood, paper, and fabric. So I put some, you know, we want to conjure up Barb's spirit here, and some livelihood to get her out of the underworld. I mean, where is she, and what is going to happen with this character? I can't even say character. We love Barb. So, so you want your Barb shrine to be super energetic and, you know, conjuring her up. So I got this bag of like gems. Where is it? See? I thought, dump those in a tray. All right. This is your Barb shrine. And this candles I bought at the grocery store, and I smeared Elmer's glue on the bottom and then sprinkled glitter on them. So there. Then I rubbed some glue on the painted wood and put more glitter on there. Decoupaged, as I said, her image. It's a triptych, so you want her to like face each other. And then these are stencil letters that I, again, sprayed with some other sprays we have. And I just glued them up top. So this would be, I think this would kind of make your guests scream if they came over to watch the show. Because everyone's like, okay, Will got out of the underworld, so where's Barb? So this is your Barb shrine. Come back to us, Barb. We love you. All right, those are my crafts for. Carrie said, "Wow, I know, I'm insane." These are your crafts for your Stranger Things party. You have the Barb shrine. You have the puzzle with the Will's bike. You have Joyce pumpkin with the letters saying run. And you have your 11 waffles, which you, when your guests come, you pour your syrup on them, which 11 didn't even have. She just stole those Eggos and ran. Okay, so that is my Stranger Things DIY projects. I hope you enjoyed them. I'm gonna try to get some of my creative people who love the show involved, and I'd love to see what you make too, or if you make these projects, please post them to @Stencil1 and @Stranger Things. I want to thank the show's creators and all the people involved in that show for inspiring us. These projects were really fun, and again, it's just like an innocent, amazing, beautiful show, and I can't thank you enough for the inspiration. So hope you enjoyed this Stranger Things episode, and I will see you next week for Make It Mondays, and I'll make something new. Don't know what it's going to be yet, but tune in every Monday. Thanks. Bye.